Hello and welcome to another edition of Tuesday Tasting. When you think of Japan, what comes to your mind? For me, it's been their amazing food, cherry blossoms when they are in season, quirky fashion sense, anything quirky really, and of course the sake. But for the last few years, I've been on a journey to discover some amazing Japanese whiskey. Yamazaki, Hibiki being my top favorites that come to my mind. So imagine my joy when I found out that the same company that owns these brands has come out with a truly international Indian whiskey. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Oaksmith Gold. This has been the most requested whiskey that you guys wanted me to review. Now, if you've seen my previous videos, you know that I was inspired by this whiskey and have even created 3 cocktails. I'll link the videos in the description below if you'd like to check it out. Now, coming to the whiskey itself, Oaksmith is named after the oak barrels in which this whiskey is matured. Made by combining Scotch from distilleries in Scotland, Bourbon from America, this whiskey is blended using the signature Japanese craftsmanship specifically for the Indian markets. Now this is the true East meets West synergy. With all of that promise, let's see if this whiskey is worth it. Let's get started, shall we? Now this whiskey originated when master blender Shinji Fukuyo made a trip to India to truly understand how Indians drink. But that's always been an enigma to me. I really don't know how he managed to understand that. But I think he started by visiting all the high-end places, including the dim-lit bars in fact, the dhabas and the wine stores. He studied the way we mix our drinks, the food we like to have on the side, like chaknas obviously. And then he went back and he created a drink that is supposed to be equally appealing when you mix it with soda or water, which is typically how Indians have their whiskeys, and also best enjoyed neat and in cocktails of course. That's a lot of promise. I'm not sure how that translates, but we'll have to taste and see. So before we get down to the tasting, let's start with the packaging. Now the bottle itself is slightly unique with the tall neck that it has and the 6-sided design that's there that is supposed to indicate Japanese craftsmanship supposedly. On the bottle it doesn't say much, it just says a unique blend of aged Scotch malt whiskies and aged American bourbon whiskies with world-class Japanese craftsmanship by Shinji Fukuyo. The name is clearly mentioned right here on the bottom. So for packaging on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it about 7.5. Let's get down to the business of pouring it. Let's get pouring, shall we? I already poured some and then I realized that the mic was not turned on. It usually happens with me. So here we have the nice amber liquid. You can see that. It's slightly lighter in color, I suppose, than most other whiskies that I have tried. It's a nice pleasant color. Wow, the first whiff is actually quite sharp. I think it is because of the grain whiskey that they have used. That kind of quickly fades away. There is a lot of sweetness that comes through. There is a hint of woodiness and smokiness. I'm not sure if it is because of the peated whiskies that they have used, the scotches that they have. I'm not sure, they haven't really mentioned which ones, but I'm hoping there is some peat in it. There's some berries on the nose. I can't wait to taste it. The first taste, of course, is very refreshing and very sweet. I didn't expect this level of dry sweetness to come through, but it's very interesting. There is smokiness and there is a slight hint of peat, like I said, but it's not overpowering. It's not like your typical peated whiskies. I think this is going to be an easy drinking for everyone. I think this is going to appeal to a lot of taste buds. Now we are going to do an interesting tasting. Now since Mr. Fukuyo has said that this whiskey is going to go great with water or soda, We are going to try it with both. I'm going to add a few drops of water to see what happens. Let the magic unfold. Just a few drops, nothing too fancy. I'm hoping this is going to open up the whiskey. Let's see if it does. I don't understand how people drink whiskeys with a lot of water. They're just completely diluting the taste and the experience of the whiskey itself. Oh, I didn't mean to nose it, but when I do, the smokiness is drastically reduced. I can only smell the fruitiness after adding water. It's like the smokiness just evaporated in thin air. That's interesting. When I added water, it just feels a lot smoother. It's almost like all the taste notes have kind of beautifully come together and have really opened up, yet not overpowering each other. Great, it's great with water. I think I would recommend it with water. Obviously, this is the kind of whiskey that probably is best enjoyed with a few drops of water. Now let's try it with soda. My least favorite way to have a whiskey is to have it with soda. I generally never ever do that, but for the sake of this video, let's try that as well. I'm just going to do a very small peg of this. Do you guys like your whiskey with soda? Comment below and let me know. Is it really an Indian way to have whiskeys? I suppose the fizz adds an interesting factor, but yeah, there we go. A lot of the nuances of the whiskey are kind of lost due to the bubbles, I think, and that could be my personal preference, I don't know. But yes, there is a lot of freshness when you add soda because of the bubbles. It just feels fresh. The sweetness is still there, the fruitiness that I talked about is still there. I think the lingering end of it is still smoky, which is not completely lost. That is still definitely there. It has a nice long finish even with soda and with water. The heat is there, of course. It's quite nice, quite pleasant, I must say. So congratulations, Mr. Fukuyo. I think you have lived up to the promise. I think it does well on all three counts. It is beautiful when had neat. And it's really, really amazing when you have it with the water, a slight bit of water, a little bit. And it's not very bad either when you have it with soda. So yeah, I think it's truly a whiskey for the Indian market. What do you think? So on a scale of 1 to 10 for the taste and for the beautiful way it has kind of opened up, I would give this an 8 on 10. Now coming to value for money. This is a perfect whiskey for those regular drinkers who save their favorites for occasions and yet want to have a premium whiskey on regular days. Right? This whiskey definitely punches above its weight. I think for the price, it's sold for about $13.75 in Mumbai, in Maharashtra, in fact. There's a slightly lower variant as well, which is for $840. I can do a separate review of that. But I think what Oaksmith has got right is the price for the product that it has. It definitely punches above its weight, and it's a good competition for its other competing brands, like let's say a Blender's Pride. I think it's great. I'm going to go ahead and give this a 9.5. I have not given a 9.5 on this show to any other whiskey for value for money, but this one surely deserves it. A 9.5 on 10 for value for money. If you like this video, do like, share and subscribe to our channel. Is there any particular spirit that you would like me to review? Any whiskey, rum, beer? Do comment and let me know. Until next week, cheers and keep watching Tuesday Tasting.